it honestly does not make sense for Canadians to make money. If I was still living in Canada and you offered me a high salary, I would think twice. And let me show you exactly why I'm talking about this, because obviously you guys know how bad taxes are, but usually nobody really breaks it down in detail to show you how bad it really is. And I'm gonna go a step further and show you how bad taxes really are, because it's not just your income tax or your corporate tax. There's a hidden tax that people don't even think about, that they probably shouldn't even pay, but we're forced to pay. And I say we're forced. I am a Canadian who used to live in Canada. I now moved to Dubai, but I was forced to pay this as well for many years. Alright, so I have my document right here. I'm gonna pop it up on the screen. As you can see, let's say you made $500,000. You worked really hard to become successful, make a lot of money, and now boom, you have this fantastic salary, seemingly fantastic salary, and you are ready to pay taxes now. It's the end of the year and you have to pay tax. Well, how much money are you really paying in taxes? Well, $500,000 salary, that's fantastic, but then you have a federal tax deduction of $142,000. Provincial tax deduction, $88,000. Now, this is assuming you're living in Ontario. And then after that, you have CPP deduction, which caps out at $3,500, and then EI deduction at $953. So if you quickly put that together, you'll see that your total tax is $235,000. Literally, almost half of your money is gone in taxes. And if you look at the bottom here, you'll see it says marginal tax rate. That's the highest tax bracket you get into, because in Canada it is a tax system based on how much you're making. You'll be taxed at a different bracket. We have different brackets. So if you're making only a little bit of money, you'll be in this bracket. If you're making more, you go to over here, over here, over here. And of course, the highest one is at this point where you're getting taxed 53.5%. So any income generated over this amount, you're gonna get taxed 53.5%. And our average tax rate, because there are multiple different tax brackets, 20, 30, 40, etc., the average tax rate is 47%. If you did this exact same thing with the salary of about $1 million, for example, you would see pretty quickly that you're actually getting taxed over 50%, because that marginal tax bracket is chomping down most of your money. So the average tax rate is 47%, but the pain is not over just yet. Let's take your $264,956 and buy some goods and services. So the money that you didn't have to pay away in taxes, the money that you get to keep, let's go and buy some stuff with this now. You're gonna want to spend it on something. You're not just gonna keep it in your bank and lose to inflation. Oh, wait a minute. You have to spend another 13% on further sales taxes. Wow. So they tax your salary and then they tax you after when you want to go and buy stuff. I don't understand why that even makes sense. Like, just tax them once and leave them alone. But no, another 13% in tax. So if you wanted to buy something that was worth $264,956, you would actually need to have $299,400, because something that's worth $264,956 plus 13% actually goes up to $299. So your money is not even worth what your money is worth, because it's worth less. Your buying power is weaker than what it actually seems like, because if you want to buy something, you have to pay a sales tax. So if you wanted to buy something that was worth the amount of money you actually had, you would only be able to buy something that was $234,700, because the rest goes away in sales taxes. You take $234,700 plus 13%, it'll give you what you actually have. So now if you do the math, your tax rate isn't actually 47%, it's actually 53% because of the sales tax. And it gets worse, of course, if you make even more money. Because if you make even more money, maybe you want to buy luxury goods. If you want to buy luxury goods, good luck. You're going to have to pay a luxury tax as well. It's never ending. Now you might be thinking, oh, Kevin, this only applies to people who are making a lot of money. No, it's not. $100,000, calculate. Let's see what the actual tax is. You're getting taxed $30,000. So if you make $100,000, you're not really making $100,000. Sorry guys, you're actually making $70,000. And then when you have to account for sales taxes on the goods and services that you buy, you lose even more money. So maybe you're actually making only like $60,000. The taxes are killing people. And if you're making even more money, for example, $1 million, 50.3%, and again, your marginal tax rate is 53.5. And plus you have the sales tax, and in this case, if you're making $1 million, you're probably going to get charged a luxury tax as well. You're probably going to get impacted by the new capital gains tax in Canada. And a quick side point, if you think about it, 50% in tax, yes, that's bad alone, but just think about it like this, okay? If you are getting taxed 50% on your income, that means that literally half the time you spend working goes to the government. So let's say you go to work on Monday, that goes to the government. Let's say you go to work on Tuesday, that's for you. Wednesday, that's for the government, and repeat. This is crazy to think about, but it really does give you perspective. 6 months of the year doesn't go towards you, and the other 6 goes towards you. Doesn't really seem fair, does it? The taxes feel like they never end because they don't. There's always something coming up. Carbon tax, alcohol tax, luxury tax. It doesn't make sense to make money in Canada anymore, and it's pretty obvious because I'm getting on calls with all these people every single day who are making this kind of money and who are leaving the country, and I genuinely feel bad for Canadians who are stuck in Canada because they're making enough money to live, but they're not making enough money to be able to leave. And these people are the ones end up actually, paying the bill. The middle class, the people with jobs, traditional jobs like doctors, firefighters. These are the people who are actually suffering the most because the rich people, the wealthy people aren't paying these taxes. They're leaving. They're leaving really quickly. And that's why it does not make sense to live in a high tax country like Canada anymore. If you want to learn more about taxes, subscribe to my YouTube channel, or you can also join my free newsletter down below. And if you want a step-by-step guide on how you can legally reduce your taxes by moving to Dubai, then click on this video right here where I go over this in detail.